Uh, Tommy, tell me about how do you feel your career has gone so far? It's very young, but how are you feeling about it?
Well, I mean, I haven't got any blemishes on my record just yet, and I'm not hoping to, so it's going pretty smoothly at the moment. I'm being guided by a very experienced man in my father, and yeah, I'm following his lead.
How is that? How is that partnership, that relationship?
It's tough, it's hard, it's not easy, but it's paying off. So I can't ask for any more than that, to be honest. So yeah, no, I'm happy.
I always think of the Loma versus Lopez fight. Both got their dads in their corner, and there's that interview of like Lopez crying about his relationship with his dad. Is it, I guess you have that trust with him that you would never be able to find elsewhere.
Of course, I mean, it's not money orientated, it's not ego, it's not anything, it's just he wants to see his son do the best that he can do with the tools that I have and what he's given to me, that he's passed down, spiritually and physically as well, from genetics. So yeah, he wants to see me do the best I can do, and he's not asking for no more than that, really.
What do you think are the biggest strengths he's given you? What are the similarities between you both?
His fighting will, his mindset, his experience he's passing down to me as well. So there's a lot there, yeah.
5 knockouts in 6 fights is a great record. It shows that you really carry that power. I guess there's so much more to come still as well.
Yeah, I haven't had the cleanest of knockouts. I've had good stoppages. I think it's the warrior mode that I sort of go into to get rid of these guys, that some people haven't got maybe, and I'm looking for that. So, yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the future. Got to carry on this journey. I've started it, and I've got to see it through. So, yeah.
So, what improvements do you feel that you need to make?
It's all sort of, every fight, something's coming out differently, something's changing. I'm seeing different opportunities that I'm taking. You get more experienced as you go on. I'm spending longer in the gym. I've been a professional nearly a year now. So at the start to now, I've already progressed so much, I've still got a lot to do. Like you said, I'm young in the game, 26 years old. The top guys are all in their 30s. So I've still got 4 years of climbing. Not that age means anything, because Tyson was the youngest world heavyweight champion. So yeah, no, just gonna carry on my path and keep knocking down the barriers when I need to.
We one more fight and then New Year. I mean, if we start from now, what are you hoping to achieve over the next 12 months?
It would be nice to start moving up the rounds, start getting the better opposition, the tougher tasks that I need to sort of overcome, which is all in due time. It's going to happen, so I'm just preparing myself for that, really. My next fight, I'm hoping it's going to be a 6-rounder. So just gradually sort of stepping it all up, really. So in 12 months' time, if there's a 8 round, if I can move up to them sort of levels, 10 rounds perhaps, there's a title out there to be taken, and we'll take it. But I'm not rushing. I'm still a young pro, and I'm taking the journey as it comes.
Growing up in a boxing household, was there ever any doubt that you wouldn't be a pro?
Yeah, of course. There's always doubt. And there's probably a father first and a fighter second with my old man. He probably don't want his son to be a fighter, especially as a young boy. I mean, all men want boys in that sort of, I want to have a boy as a dad, and you always want your boy, I'm not a father, but I can only imagine that you'd always want your boy to be this, strong man, and carry on the name. So, but to be honest, it wasn't a thing that, he was always dragging me into this gym, actually, where we're sitting. This is the gym that's been almost 100 years, in Brighton, where all the fighters have come through. There's been a lot of good fighters through here. And my dad actually trained in this gym, so it's quite sort of a funny thing to be sitting in here. I had my childhood in this gym. I hated this gym. This gym was horrible. It was a lot sweatier than this. Growing up, it was a lot, there wasn't no rubber mats. It was all hard wooden floors, and I was spending my time in here as a young boy. I didn't really want to be in here, to be honest, I was in here from probably, literally as a baby, and then sort of got to a point where I was playing rugby. I preferred the rugby, I was sparring at 10 years old, men. I was sparring, 18-year-old men at 10. I was 10 stone, so anyone that was 60 kilos I was in the mix with. And I was getting my ass kicked, and it weren't really sort of enjoyable. It wasn't like, kicking ball or running the fields or any of these other nice sports that are out there. It was, you're getting your face punched in and you're going home and crying to your mum, And sort of it was a good experience. It was definitely something that toughens you up as a boy, and prepared me for life, because life's tough, and this game definitely prepares you for that. So for me, it was like boxing was always there, and it was just more of when I wanted to take that step into that sort of world. And it was 14 when I turned around to my old man and said, right, I'm ready to fight, I started and stopped before. And at 14 years old, I said, right, let's get a few fights under my belt. And my dad said, all right, I'll guide you, you just have to listen. And that was it.
What's your relationship with the gym now?
Home. Yeah, man, I've had blood, sweat and tears in this place. So yeah, this is a part of me as well. Definitely.
You don't hate it anymore?
No, it's only love. Hate is love anyway. If you hate something, really, you loved it maybe at once, or you loved it first and hated it after, so very relatable.
You're already fighting on big cards. You're not quite at the top end of it on Channel 5 yet, and I saw you at the Boxer event the other day. How much does being in those surroundings and seeing those huge crowds motivate you?
I mean, I've been to some serious fights. That Boxer show was a nice, lovely show, but it was small. The Channel 5 shows are great. They're everything that I need now at this stage. As you progress, you want to fight on these bigger cards. I was over there for the Fury first fight against Deontay, and the atmosphere, it was electrifying. It was something you could only dream about being involved in. So some people they fear that. Some people thrive off that, and for me, I would thrive off that more than anything else. So, and I went to the Anthony Joshua fight in front of, was it 70,000 at the Tottenham Stadium? Another unbelievable experience to see how, all these people everywhere you look, they look like ants, standing on one side of the place, looking at the other. You can't even see anyone, it's just heads. But to be involved in that, actually fighting on that show would just be, a dream. So yeah, you have to aim high, and I'm starting at this level. I mean, the level I'm at now is a lot bigger than what I was fighting as an amateur. I was fighting in leisure centres and small halls where people were literally hanging off the rafters screaming, so like the old smoking clubs there, I fought in some crazy shows. So, right now I'm happy, I'm loving it, I'm loving this journey, and got to keep pushing on.
Have you got a dream location of if you could pick one stadium or arena to fight in around the world?
It would, obviously the O2 is massive. It would, I've always gone to shows there. It's always been sort of like, when I walk there, it's like familiar, England based, really,
Amex?
I mean, yeah, of course. Imagine that, Brighton, Amex, everyone in Brighton turning up. people coming down from London in Brighton, at my hometown, you know, the Amex is unbelievable. So yeah, one day definitely, and why wouldn't that be? I'm a Brighton boy, so and I'm a Brighton fan, so you never know.
Perfect. On that, actually, I'll save that because I want to do a little bit just with the beach in the background, so work there for there. Heavyweight division is full of danger, you know, no matter who you fight, even if you fight a so-called journeyman. I get the feeling that you maybe buzz off that even more, that it's such a dangerous division.
I would say I'm a risk taker. You know, I thrive off the bigger the risk, the more reward and the worse off you can be. So, you know, there's a lot of decent fighters out there, obviously, and then you have like Fury, who's you know, a great, really, in my eyes, phenomenal, to be honest. And it would be nice when he moves over, so I wouldn't ever have to face him, you know. And I respect him a lot. I think what he's done for the game is unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, the heavyweights, it's always been a dangerous game. Boxing's a dangerous game. You know, I just happen to be in a heavy hitting class, and you know, it's more I'll hit them before they hit me, so I don't really care who's in front of me. You know, we'll fight for nothing, so if you're getting paid for it, it's a bonus.
Every heavyweight, at some point, they have that moment where it's like the acid test. AJ was probably the first time against Klitschko. Tyson probably against Wilder when he got knocked down. How do you think you're going to react when you get to that point where somebody, you know, really tests you and pushes you to that limit? How are you going to react?
I mean, listen, you know, people that have had amateur backgrounds have always been tested anyway. You know, you're fighting 50-50 fights there, you know, for nothing. You're turning up, you don't know who you're facing, you look for the biggest geezer in the room when you're fighting him. You don't know anything about him, and you know, it can go either way. So who's prepared to put it all on the line? So, you know, it's about overcoming it, and as long as you put your heart on you know, everything into it, it don't really, you know, a test is inevitable, it's coming. So, you know, as much as you prepare for it, you know, when it happens, it happens. You have to deal with it, and you know, training and instinct and that sort of like warrior code will just take over. You know, you're preparing your whole life for a test. So when it comes, I'll be ready.
Is there any competitiveness of your dad? You know, he's had a great career, not a perfect career. Is there any part of you that's like, I want to go one better?
I mean, in his eyes, it was a perfect career. He come from, you know, nothing. He come from, you know, absolutely nothing, where, you know, anyone around him wasn't doing what he was doing, and you know, his story is pretty magnificent. You know, when you hear his story, it's, in boxing terms, yeah, he never had the perfect career, but I mean, from what he'd done and where he come from, it was out of this world, and I can't compete with that. You know, I've got it all given to me. My old man's given me everything he never knew as a fighter, so there can't be too much competitiveness because he's given me that opening already. He had to go searching for it. He was flying around the world, changing trainers all the time. He was going from gym to gym to find what I already know at my stage. I'm doing better than what he was doing at this stage, but I've got his knowledge, so there can't be too much competition. Obviously, we joke and, oh, what did you do in your first fight or fourth fight or fifth fight, you know? But, you know, I would say I'm a different prospect to what he was. I'm a bigger man than what he was as well. He was only sort of, you know, 15. I think his first fight was at 14.5 stone. So he was a smaller heavyweight, you know. Obviously, everyone's got bigger over time, but yeah, no, there's a little bit of competition, definitely, but nothing, you know, personal.
You know, you talk about how tough his upbringing was, and you know, probably in comparison, yours has been I don't want to say easy, but a lot easier.
In money terms, yeah.
So,
but not in other aspects. You know?
Yeah. So from those terms, that would have motivated him to, give his family a much better upbringing than what he had to. What motivates you?
So money is obviously, money rules everything, right? Without money, we can't do anything in this life that we live. So that's obviously a motivation for everyone. It doesn't matter whether you have money or not. People out there are millionaires, they still want more millions, That's just the way the world runs, and without it, you're nothing. So money will always be a motivation, whether you've got 100 mil in the bank or you've got 100 quid in the bank, it don't matter. You still want more, because you always want to pass down, But that would have been his main motivation, to put food on the table. I've got food on my table, so it's not really my motivation, My motivation comes from the competitive side. I just enjoy fighting. I enjoy it so much, and if I wasn't doing it in the ring, I'd be doing it outside the ring. So it's better that I do it inside the ring and become, a bit more of a good person than a bad person for fighting, So I love the game. I love the sport. I've grown up with it. It's all really I know. I can't do anything else. I don't find anything else amusing. I get bored, going on holiday or going out with your mates, and it's boring, The only thing that excites me is knowing that you're going to get in there and fight someone and overcome them and take everything off them,
What's that feeling like before? Because not every boxer's the same. Not every boxer loves it in the changing room or on fight day.
Yeah.
What's that feeling like for you?
Magic. I don't know. The closer you get to, I don't know. It's like someone sticking fuel in a fire, Make sure it's not petrol, because that's explosive, The changing room settings, that's when I know, right, here we go. All week I'm chilling, I'm relaxing. The boys will know, It's like I'm brewing a storm slowly, and the wind's getting stronger and stronger until that night, and then that night comes and it's in full force, and it's like it's uncontrollable, I sort of have a bit of a weird emotional feeling towards it, I love it that much, it's bizarre, I don't know, I can't describe it. It must be doing something to me, because I'm managing to perform and, do what I'm doing, I guess, so, I'm enjoying it.
Don't want to be bumping into you into a club.
Just make sure you say sorry. No, I'm joking.
December the 10th, back out, another opportunity to add to what was a pretty, particularly the first knockdown, anyway, pretty showreel knockdown. What expectations did you have of yourself on that night?
Do you know, I was doing some interviews before, and it's always expectations. I expect to perform good, and whatever the outcome is, that will be the outcome. But I expect to perform at my best. All this preparation of hours in the gym every day, day in, day out. You don't want to turn up and perform shit. It's got to be right. So you have to perfect it. So when that night comes, everything happens. It doesn't matter being the king of the gym. I've heard people talking about, in sparring. No one cares about sparring. The world champions have been knocked out in the gym, But on the night, they come out and they perform, and that's all that matters. So I expect to perform come December the 10th.
Is that what separates you, that you perform on the night? It isn't about the sparring here?
I look at sparring and all this stuff as my work, and on the night is sort of more your reward. That's the easiest part, turning up and fighting, because training's hard, it's horrible, but you have to do it. It's part of what you do, It's like selling a car or something, or selling a house. You have to turn up, it's long. You have to give your spiel, you have to sell that car until you're sitting there and finally you're like, he's bought it, you know? And that's the same. It's that whole process of training. You're training, it's long, you know? I hate training, but at the same time, I love it because I know it pays off. You know, that's your reward on the night. When it all comes together, you've spent hours in the gym, you've been up late nights, early mornings, literally. All of that motivational stuff everyone listens to and watches is true. And yeah, that's it.
Talk to me about the Joker. Where did it come from? What's the background?
I think it's a talking piece. I think when I watched that film, I had a bit of a weird connection to it. You know, he's obviously a bit of a maniac. I think it's quite a sad, dark film at the same time, and I think there's a lot of meaning behind who he is, and he obviously deals with a lot of issues to the point where he's had enough and he fights back, you know. And I was dealing with a lot of things, I guess, and life throws at everyone, you know, and sometimes you have to fight back. And when I put the mask on, that's me fighting back. That's me dealing with my, I'd say, demons or issues or, you know, whatever people want to call things that are going on in life that, you know, are giving you hard times or whatever. So when I put the mask on, it's quite a deeper thing than just wearing the Joker mask, you know. It's me sort of fighting back.
Talk to me about some of those things that maybe you've gone through that, because clearly you related to the character quite a lot.
Yeah, just, you know, there's a few things, but, you know, they're quite personal, I'd say, you know. I.e. deaths of people very close to you and other things, I think, that you just, you know, have to overcome in life. Everyone, you know, life's hard to everyone. It's not unfair to me, it's unfair to everyone. That's what makes life fair, you know, so you just got to sort of take everything in your stride and carry on fighting.
I suppose that the combination of the mask and then the fight, that's your place to...
Release. That's my release, yeah, definitely. All that pent up stuff I get to let go of.
Go on, sell us the fight a little bit. Why should people tune in? You know, there are a lot of people who still haven't seen you box. What would you say to them?
I said it before, I'm in the shadows, you know, I'm not out there, I'm not calling anyone out. I would say I'm respectful with my work. When the time's right, I'm ready for, you know, whatever comes my way. And tune in to me because, you know, like I've said before, if you like to watch fighting, if you like to watch, you know, dominating performances, you can guarantee you'll get your money's worth. That's all I'm going to say. You will get your money's worth if you tune into me, for sure.